Good evening, B's and G's. It's time for another beer review. This time it is my Black Ops IPA. This is my first ever black IPA that I've brewed. Certainly before it went in the bottle, it was looking very much on the brown side. So I was contemplating renaming it Brown Oops rather than Black Ops. But yeah, we'll see how it turns out. Very quick rundown of the grain bill. It was 776 grams Maris Otter, 50 grams of torrefied wheat for a bit of head retention, 30 grams of pale chocolate, 25 grams of carapils, and 24 grams of black malt. Yeast in this case was Safel S04. And the hop schedule was bittering hop of Nugget at 74.5 grams, 5.5 grams of Citra at 10, 10.85 grams of Amarillo at flame out, along with 10.5 grams of Citra at flame out and 2 grams of Chinook at flame out. And then a dry hop of 3 days, 9 grams of Citra. So it was bottled on the 27th of the 3rd. I think I let it condition in the house roughly for a week or week to 10 days. So it's probably been in the bottle for about 3 weeks now. Well, it's been in the bottle for about 4 weeks now, but it's been bottled 3 weeks in the garage, aging, conditioning. So I'm going to open this one relatively early, just because of a decent, well, reasonable, decent dry hop in it, so I don't want the aroma hops to dissipate too quickly. So it's only been out of the garage about 5 minutes. It's chilled to the touch. Could let it warm up a little bit further, but I'm just going to dive in. It's certainly warmer than it was a few weeks ago, so yeah, it's probably around about the right temperature. So I've been dying to see what this one's going to be like, so let's crack her open and see. Oh, and finally, sorry, I should have said, I was aiming for 5.2% on the ABV. Don't really know what happened. I think I probably over concentrated it. Boiled it a bit too hard, too long. Ended up 6.5%. Sorry, 6.6%. So, whoops. So the 50 IBUs it's meant to be, it's probably a little bit lower than that. So maybe mid 40s or thereabouts. So without further ado, reasonable hiss and cannon smoke. And quite well carbonated. I'll try not and pour it too aggressively. Maybe slow down now because we have got a decent head on it. I have to say, probably looking at it first look, probably tan bubbles. Tan coloured bubbles. I'm glad I didn't put this in my IPA glass because we would have been overflowing by now. That will probably do. There really isn't that much left in the bottom. I've done quite well pouring that one, and there's actually not a lot of sediment, believe it or not. So, wow, look at that. Look at that. Creamy, small, mostly small, some a few medium bubbles. Probably actually a 3 fingers head. I don't know whether I've just poured that too aggressively. Can I see through it with this really rubbish pen light thing? Does that? Oh, in fact, I might just hold it up to the sun. Don't know whether that can be seen or not. Probably not very well. I can tell you, it is looking brown. With a ever so slight red hue up to the light, just at the base of the glass. Without any light, it does look black. So it has kind of darkened ever so slightly. It was looking a bit more brown, so maybe it is black ops rather than brown oops. On the aroma, despite the big head, you do get the very recognisable kind of Citra smell. It's not overpowering, but you do smell it. Actually, quite nice. Let's head in, because let's face it, it's all about the taste. Very nice. Very interesting, actually. I never actually drunk a black IPA of any kind, so this is a first for me. Decent amount of lacing, not bad. Very nice. Quite dry. Quite not overly bitter, but you can certainly detect that it's there. Maybe in another week or two, that'll just die down a little bit. For me, at this point in time, it's probably just a tad too bitter. Doesn't detract from it too much, but yeah, maybe needs just toned down a little bit. I'll wait and see how this one pans out. I'll drink it, obviously. Hopefully, won't drink them all in the next week or two. But pardon me. Yeah, I'll definitely keep at least one bottle back just to see if it dies down a bit, which I suspect. So, nice bit of lacing. Very pleased for my first black IPA. I would probably say it's ever so slightly over-carbed. Head's dissipated a little bit, probably down to a 3/4 of a finger head. Maybe 1 finger head in a sort of less wide glass, and seems to be hanging around. There's a decent amount of carbonation, which I don't think you are going to pick up on camera, but it is quite gassy. I'm being quite picky though. I wouldn't say it's massively overcarb, but it is a little. Yeah, I don't really know what a black IPA is meant to taste like, so it's quite hard for me to actually do a beer review. I probably should have looked some stuff up before I reviewed this, but all I can say is it's similar to an IPA. You do get a little bit of kind of roasty, sort of deeper malty profile that you don't necessarily get in an IPA. It's not a complete hot bomb in the sense that you don't detect that there's no malts there whatsoever. It's a very interesting mix. I guess that's probably what a black IPA is meant to be like. You definitely sort of detect the citra aroma. I'm just not picking out the large quantity of Amarillo at flame out, or am I? I don't think so. Let's see if I can taste it. Is there any oranginess there? I don't think so. I can't remember what else Amarillo's meant to smell and taste like, but I don't think I'm picking that up for almost 11 grams in there for a 1 gallon batch. But you certainly smell the citra on the nose. Not overly powering. Probably could do with a little bit more of a dry hop, I would say, but I don't know whether that was meant to be the style, meant to be that aromatic or not. But I have to say, for my first black IPA, not knowing what it's meant to be like, it's very drinkable, and yeah, I'm quite pleased with the results. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I don't want to repeat myself and go on and on and on. Would I make a black IPA again? Yes. Would I change the recipe slightly? Yes. Not quite sure what I would do. Probably increase the dry hop. And yeah, cheers.